Busy Plant-Based Mama here. We're talking about smoothies today and how to make them a meal. So step one is going to be protein powder. You need protein powder? Generally you need protein powder. If you don't have it, it's not the end of the world. But the way that I make my meal replacement smoothie is going to start with protein powder, okay? That's where you're gonna get your protein content from. So what you want to look for with your protein powder is that it's got a good balance of protein, fat, and carbs in there. If it doesn't, it's not the end of the world, but it is something that you need to be conscious of so that you can build around it. When you're thinking about creating a meal, you need to have a good balance of your macronutrients. Your macronutrients are your protein, your fat, and your carbohydrates, okay? Well, if you don't have this, you'll be left feeling quite a bit hungry. And this is a really big reason why people come to me or just in general, come to people in general or think in general that smoothies can't keep you full. It's because of the way that they're being built. They're not building them as a meal. They're either really dense in protein, but nothing for the fat and carbs, or vice versa, really high in carbohydrates, but not so much in the protein and fat. This is what's leaving us hungry, okay? So number one, get yourself a good protein powder. Number two is gonna be add your fruits and vegetables. That's right, I said vegetables, get them in there. I always have a green. The rare occasion I'll put a different vegetable in, but there's always vegetables in my smoothie, for sure. For me, for my husband, for my kids, for everybody. I've really gotten it down to a science on how to mask those vegetables so that it just tastes like a delicious smoothie. So your fruits and vegetables are going to be your carbohydrates because fruits and vegetables are carbohydrates. A lot of us, I think, do still tend to think of carbs as only being breads, rice, and pastas. Fruits and vegetables are carbohydrates and you need them in your smoothie, okay? Number three, fats. So if your protein powder doesn't already come with a little bit of fat in it, you want to think about adding something like hemp hearts to your smoothie or chia seeds, even like an almond milk. This is, we've got some, nut milk here as well. So getting that in there. So now we've got our protein from our protein powder. We've got our carbohydrates from our fruits and vegetables, and don't be shy with them. You want a good amount. And then you've got your fats. Now you also want to grab some water, potentially some ice to get your desired consistency, but this is how you're building a meal out of your smoothie. So I've got two examples for you, okay? I actually looked them up in MyFitnessPal last night, and one of the common smoothies that people will either say to me or send to me is something like this. 1 cup orange juice, 1 cup frozen mango, a teaspoon of ground flax, maybe, a cup of frozen pineapple, and a teaspoon of chia seeds, maybe, right? And I think the thought process with the flax and the chia is that we're adding a little bit of protein or fat, or just healthy stuff in general. Maybe you don't even know what their macro content is. You just know that they're healthy because people talk about them all the time, so you throw them in there, which is great. I love flax and chia, but listen to the macro breakdown. This smoothie has 87 grams of carbohydrates, which is way too many carbohydrates. 2.5 grams of fat, little bit of fat, and only 2.7 grams of protein, okay? So really high in the carbohydrate, next to nothing for fat and protein. You would be feeling very hungry in about an hour or less after this smoothie. The struggle here is that people are like, but it's all healthy stuff. I'm eating all healthy stuff. Absolutely you are, but it's not a balance. So it's going to cause you to feel hunger more often and more quickly, okay? So then I did how I build my smoothie, and I typed it all in MyFitnessPal. So this one had 2 scoops of my Shaklee protein powder. It had half a cup of almond milk, 2 ounces of frozen banana, a cup of mixed frozen berries, 1 tablespoon of hemp hearts, and an entire cup of spinach, which I promise you, you do not taste. Now listen to the breakdown. 27 grams of protein, 11.3 grams of fat. These are healthy fats that your body does need, okay? And 41 grams of carbohydrates. Now, do you see how that leveled out and how that would be considered more of a meal in terms when we're talking about macronutrient breakdown as opposed to the first one? Now, what's interesting is both of these smoothies are very close in calorie count. The one that I said was incorrect, quote unquote, was 387 calories. And the one that I'm currently drinking is 358 calories. It's slightly less calories, and I'm not a huge calorie counter, but it's good to know and have a good idea in reference of what you're taking into your body. And then not only how many calories, but where are those calories coming from when it comes to macronutrient breakdown, okay? So this is how you build a smoothie into a meal. If you have any questions, put them in the comments and I will be happy to answer them.